Welcome to Nation in Conversation. I'm Theo Foster. Today with me is Daan Bronkhorst from Hinterland. Daan, Hinterland operates more than 60 stores in rural South Africa. You are in the small towns. Now, if I look at the small towns in rural South Africa, and some of your stores is in the Northwest Province. If I look at these rural towns, obviously service delivery is a problem, roads is a problem, infrastructure is a problem. And add to that the protests, the violent protests, the destructive protests. With more than 60 stores in rural South Africa, how do you manage that risk?
Theo, yeah, that's a very interesting question, and it's a very challenging environment that we currently are in. Because of we all understand that the rural communities and all that, the backbone of that is agriculture, and that's also one of the reasons why we're in that rural towns. Because we want to get as close as possible to our producer for a cost perspective as well. And that's why with our partners as well, that's where we position ourselves. The challenge is, as soon as the infrastructure as it is at the moment is under pressure, it does put pressure on us as well from a service point delivery as well. And we all do understand and we realize that the local governments and also at the same time not helping in any way. So it comes from a community. The challenge comes with as soon as we build community or we get involved with communities and we build, for example, a clinic of building a clinic, and then it gets burned down, then you're just back to square one. So managing the risk and all that, we partake in discussions with communities and with leaderships within the communities, but it only works where there is not a vested interest. And where there's a common interest, of building up that community and protecting the community. The challenge is really about getting that up and going.
Have you closed stores because of this?
No, we haven't closed stores, but we also have to reduce in some of the areas. We have to reduce our manpower because of that, which does have a direct impact on our work and providing work for the communities that we do serve in. And the other thing is also because as soon as the particular community is under pressure and all that leaves them with no option to go to the cities and move out to the cities, which just add more pressure to the existing problems that we do have within the bigger cities as well, from getting land from the bigger cities.
If we look at your clientele in those shops, have you, with the depopulation of the smaller rural areas, with the political uncertainty, with the infrastructure dropping, does that also mean that you have at some point change your clientele or change your mix, or is we're not there yet?
No, in some of the areas it does. It's already there. We're already there. We have to adjust to what's happening within our communities as well. But the whole issue is around changing, but to the benefit of the community itself, and to get everyone around the table and have the discussions, honest discussions, and like I said, to drive a common goal, to say, well, how are we going to address these issues? And it's about dialogue. It's open the opportunities in it to dialogue, but for a common goal. So to say, well, this is what we are. We are faced with some serious challenges out there, and it's not going to change overnight. But also to keep everyone, because of the legacy of the past, which a lot of us hasn't been a part of, and also realizing that nothing will change overnight. It's going to take some hard work, hard effort to change that over time. And managing that risk all the time is very close. It's also, there's a huge emotional factor in that as well, because it's very close to home. If you don't have any way that you can provide for your family, you can't put food on the table for your family and all that. It just forces you to react in ways that you normally wouldn't have. And that is the real challenge. It's about that basic commodities to serve that communities in a way that you can actually make sure that they got a living, that they can provide for themselves as well. I've heard this morning over the radio and all that Eskom intends, for some of these municipalities, that they're going to cut the power for 14 hours. So you can just imagine what that will have on businesses as well.
In those communities?
In those communities as well, because you have to either get a generator, alternative power supply and all that, and it has to run at the cost as well, which that communities and the businesses also cannot really afford that. So that's just going to add more pressure to the system.
Let's turn the question. I asked you if you've closed any of those stores. Are you opening stores?
No, at the moment we're not opening any stores, but we are streamlining those stores just to get the cost as low as possible, which then directly has an impact on employment as well.
Again.
Because then where you could have had 5 or 10 people in a particular area of your business, you might cut it down to only 5. So you might halve it or take a quarter of them so that you at least just provide to a quarter or 3/4 of them still some work, but you can't be employing without not getting the return on that as well, because your expenses are also coming under pressure, which then has just a ripple effect to the rest of the business as well, and the other related businesses as well. It comes to the schools, the churches, the community halls, and the gatherings in there. Same happens with the schools as well. As soon as there's not enough infrastructure there, that's why people are taking the kids out of a particular town and they put them into a hostel in a bigger town. Which then does have a direct impact on the economy of that particular town.
The doctor leaves,
the doctor leaves and all of that, and then he only comes in once or twice a week. And all the others, all services and everything else just
for
get under
your
pressure.
business, it's critical that the rural towns in South Africa get back on the front foot. We need to stop this decay.
That's absolutely, that's the only thing that we can try to promote and try to engage. Because that, like I said, also that's going to limit it where the rural towns and all that. People are leaving the rural towns to go to the bigger cities to find some work, to seek some work, which just add more pressure there. I think by putting it back into rural communities and where they can be self-sustained in that rural communities and all of that, that's going to alleviate a lot of the pressure that we currently existing within our bigger towns.
Well, Daan, at this point, you're not closing stores. Let's hope next time we sit here, you tell me about the stores you're opening in rural South Africa.
That'll be a great thing. We can do that, Theo.
Thank you very much, Daan.
Thank you.
That was Daan Bronkhorst from me, Theo Foster at Nation in Conversation. Have a good day.